A woke teacher is fired in Florida, and she's blaming the Parental Rights Law signed by Ron DeSantis. We're going to take a look at the firing and the circumstances that led to it. We're going to see how the legacy media is trying to blame DeSantis. And we're going to find that it's all too little too late. The woke ship has sailed, and parents across the nation want nothing more to do with it. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your fake news antidote, so come on into your Patriot Professor's Den. We're helping to think better so you can feel better in these crazy, turbulent, and increasingly anti-woke times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. Before we begin, did you hear about Dementia Joe's deplorables moment? Yes, he insulted half the country by calling those of us who belong to what he called the ultra-MAGA agenda as the new extremists. Well, like the basket of deplorables, we love that phrase. And you can celebrate Dementia Joe's deplorables moment by clicking on that link below and getting your own ultra-MAGA t-shirts at our merch store. Gang, they are awesome and they're hot off the press. They're so new, I haven't even gotten mine yet. Well, make sure to get one for yourself. Get two for the patriots in your life. This is a limited time offer. They're going to be going and they're not going to be around for long. So make sure to click on that link below. Let's stick it to old Joe and let's savor this deplorables moment together as we all become the new ultra MAGA force throughout the nation. Click on that link below or go to store.turleytalks.com. That is store.turleytalks.com. All right, ultra MAGA warriors, let's dive right in here. We've got reports of an ultra woke teacher getting fired from a public school in the great state of Florida. It's being reported that Cape Coral art instructor Katie Scott said that her students were curious about her sexual orientation, and she explained to them that she was a pansexual during lessons to middle schoolers. Now, if you're having a hard time keeping up with the gender alphabet soup here, pansexual refers to someone who's attracted to all categories of people, regardless of their sex or their gender identity or their orientation or what have you. And so as part of the discussion, she had the students create flags representing their own sexuality and gender identities, ranging from transgender to non-binary to gay. She reportedly posted the flags on her door, and she was promptly told by administration officials to take them down immediately, which she did, and apparently crumpled them up and threw them in the trash. Parents got involved, as they've been over the last several months pushing back against woke agendas at school board meetings. Parents rose up and pressured the school administration, which promptly fired this art teacher, Casey Scott. She is on a warpath, apparently, she and the legacy media, to try to blame this firing on the so-called Don't Say Gay law, which, of course, in reality is the Parental Rights Law signed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But the left-wing activists disguised as journalists are actively trying to blame DeSantis for this firing. Good luck on that. And I mean that because all you have to do is go into the new global speech platform, free speech platform, Twitter, and you're going to find a mass amount of tweets totally supporting the administration in this. I mean, here's just a sampling. The New York State Young Republicans tweeted out, "This is the type of situation that Florida's Parents' Bill of Rights law was passed to prevent. No educator should have free rein to indoctrinate young people with their political beliefs or unintelligent gender ideology. She deserved to be fired." Author Kurt Schlichter tweeted out, "Good. Mutants have no place in our schools teaching our kids." A self-identified classical liberal Democrat tweeted out, "While I hate people being fired, teachers should not be having these conversations with someone else's children." Another Twitter account had this, quote, "Florida teacher says she was fired for talking to her kids about her sexuality. School says it's because she strayed from curriculum. I think it's because she's batshit crazy." The teacher said, quote, "I grabbed all the kids' flags and I crumbled their flags in front of them." Well, now I'm reading you these tweets, including the classical liberal Democrat here, to show that the days of trying to pretend that woke leftism is the majority ethos in our nation are over. Those days are gone. Again, it bears repeating, but we now have data that shows that woke issues, far from uniting the left, actually splits the left. So when you ask questions like, should we teach CRT or LGBT issues to our kids, Democrats actually split on that issue. We've got polling exactly on that. A recent Gallup poll found that only 42% of Democrats actually thought LGBT issues were very important to teach in the classroom. Okay, let that hit you. 42% of Democrats find LGBT issues very important. Now, while most are not, of course, opposed to teaching about LGBT issues outright, most clearly don't think at the top of the priority for their kids' education. Whereas when you ask Republicans this kind of question, literally 95% of Republicans are dead set against it. So woke issues split the Democrats and they unite the Republicans. So they're loser issues politically for the left. But what's so funny here is that the woke left is so absolutely clueless on that. And I'm not kidding. We can see this cluelessness on display in a recent article on CNN. Check this out. Democrats should embrace being woke and make 2022 about GOP's extremism. Is this guy responsible for CNN Plus? I mean, we're obviously dealing with the same level of utter incompetence. I mean, listen to the way it sounds in the CNN echo chamber. Ready? Quote, some in today's Republican Party are trying to ban abortion, books they find objectionable, Black history from being taught fully, transgender teens from playing sports, and discussions of sexual orientation in schools, and now they're even going after Mickey Mouse. Yet Democrats say they plan to make 2022 election about kitchen table issues. At this rate, Republicans may seek to ban kitchen tables. Republicans might ban kitchen tables. They actually think this is good writing. At this rate, Republicans might ban kitchen tables or at least punish companies that make them if they espouse what the GOP calls wokeness. The incumbent president's party traditionally loses congressional seats in the midterm elections, but 2022 is unique. Some in the GOP are waging a coordinated effort to impose their radical right-wing beliefs upon Americans. The Democrats should make the 2022 election a referendum on the GOP's extremism. That's right, ultra MAGA. I'm totally serious. I love these guys. It's like watching the old Roadrunner cartoons. You remember Wile E. Coyote? Super genius. He never stops trying to catch the blitzing fast Roadrunner, and he builds these ridiculously complex contraptions and absurdly elaborate plans to catch his prey, but he always ends up comically backfiring. Yeah, I'll get him this time. Yeah, this'll work. Yeah. I mean, that's when I read this stuff on CNN. That's what I think. I always love when the Wile E. Coyote falls off the cliff. You know, you have the camera watching him. You lose sight of him because the camera's so high up, and eventually you see that little puff of dirt and dust just puff up, marking where he landed. It's just so funny. That is what this CNN article is. These are the Wile E. Coyotes of the lamestream media, a bunch of left-wing activists who disguise themselves as journalists and push ridiculously woke, patently leftist propaganda as supposed news. Now, the ultimate joke in this is no one's watching them anymore. CNN's lost 90% of their audience over the last year. CNN Plus has imploded. It's taken its place in the business books chapters on how not to roll out a new venture, $250,000 in that rollout, and didn't even last a month. And you can see why. I mean, with an article like this, why on earth would anyone give this absurdity the time of day? Look, gang, this isn't hard. Wokeism is perhaps the single most unpopular thing on the planet right now. There's just no way around that. And what we're finding here is that this school administration, in my view, has absolutely nothing to do with the very popular Florida law that pertains only to kindergartners and third graders. What we have to understand here is what's happening with administrators, with parents being actively engaged in their kids' education like they haven't been in quite some time. Parents have zero tolerance for anything even resembling wokeness in the classroom right now, whether that's CRT, LGBT, whatever. They want nothing to do with it. So this issue, in my opinion, is very similar to our first video today that I'll link down below for you on the very noticeable silence among woke corporations regarding the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. It's the same thing. For woke corporations, they look at what happened to Disney and to Netflix, and they want nothing to do with it. They see wokeness right now as the most toxic thing imaginable for their businesses. Now, if that's true for businesses, how much more true would that be of school boards and administrations that are facing record numbers of parent-led recall efforts, most of which, by the way, have been very successful, including even in ultra-left California, the bluest of the blue areas like San Francisco. So when you have activist parents breathing down their neck, inevitably, school boards as well as corporate boards are going to drop the woke fad. If they want to keep their jobs, that is. And so that is what I think is really going on here. The problem isn't Florida law. The problem is wokeness. Wokeness is bringing down corporate boards, and it's bringing down school boards. And as such, we're beginning to see wokeness itself crumble right before our very eyes. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on woke companies going silent on the Supreme Court's Roe reversal. We're winning, gang. It's absolutely amazing. You're not going to want to miss this. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.